Hello, I'd like to talk to you about how to do better marketing targeting. And specifically, we'll deal with something called demographics versus psychographics. I'm David Zahn, the consultant coach business mentor. And what I want to talk to you about today is the fact that all the pundits you'll come across, everyone who claims to be an expert in marketing, will tell you you have got to do a great job at targeting your prospects. You got to have your target market. And they'll remind you of that cliched phrase that there are riches in niches. You have to be really specific about who it is that you're trying to market to and who you ultimately hope to sell your product or service to. They'll tell you you've got to go where the fish are and network where your prospects are likely to congregate. So you take all this information in hand and you start to think to yourself, well, who exactly is my target market? And so what we tend to do as business people, we create these things called personas. And we think about who embodies the perfect prospect or customer for us. And frankly, that's going to be a big mistake. Let me show you why. You start with, let's say you are a health kind of coach or consultant and you want to offer a program in yoga so that people become more flexible and stronger. So you say, I know my target audience are senior citizens because most people of a younger age probably consider themselves to be fairly strong, have stamina, what have you. So your first thought is, I know, let's go after the senior citizen market. Then you say, okay, well, where do they live? And because I work globally, let's choose England as the place that we want to focus on. And then we'll say they have to be a grandparent because we want to narrow down the fact that the grandparent wants to be able to play with their grandchild. That may mean having to bend, may mean being on the floor, having to be in awkward positions as they engage in whatever the activity is with their grandchild. Then you say, well, if I'm selling a yoga service, I want to be sure they can afford whatever it is that I'm about to offer. So they have to have a certain level of wealth, of certain status socioeconomically, so that they can, in fact, engage with me. I'm not going to be able to sell to someone who can't perhaps purchase. Then you say, well, I want to narrow it down. It should be somebody who also perhaps has or likes a pet and they have a dog or they're interested in perhaps acquiring a dog in the future. And that's going to also mean that they have to develop a certain amount of flexibility and stamina and strength, etc. But you still say that's really far too broad. And you say they also want to be able to vacation in the Alps. They're skiers, perhaps. Well, if you go just this far into what's called demographics, these are the characteristics or traits that somebody has in common with perhaps others, you'd come up with, well, King Charles fits all of these criteria. But the reality is, so does Ozzy Osbourne. And I think we'd all agree you're not going to market the same way to each of these people. So rather than look at the demographics, it's suggested that you look at psychographics. And that means look at what issue are they trying to resolve? What problem are they currently wrestling with that gives them a sense of unease or inefficiency, ineffectiveness, etc.? What is it that they are having to just say that's just the way it is? That's how business always has been. That's what family life includes or entails. What are those specific issues? Then we want to start our marketing with the problem, not our solution. They may not even be aware that they're in the market for a solution, but they do know that they do have a particular stressor, a problem, an issue that they're trying to work through. Then we have to address the fact that all of us, when presented with a new way of doing something, will rely on those "yeah, but" feelings. We'll start to think about, "Ooh, there are certain constraints. I couldn't possibly do that. It's too much effort. It costs too much. It involves resources I don't have," or whatever it may be. And you'll also start to think of those risks. What if it doesn't go as planned? What if this doesn't turn out to be the solution that will address my problem, etc.? If we can market to answer those questions, you'll go a lot further. So start with the problem, address the perceived or possible objections you're likely to encounter. So, how do you do that? You provide storytelling, testimonials, others who perhaps have had that same thought, or even if you don't currently have a customer, something that someone might be thinking, and how you are prepared to address it, how you already have thought that through and have an answer for why it may be difficult to accomplish. We make it easy for you. Why it might be something that has a high cost. Well, what does it cost to you if you don't address the issue? Things like that. Go through and address through testimonial, through certain storytelling, and we can work with you on how to develop a good story so that you can address the issues that are likely to be raised, even if they're not spoken, they're raised in your prospect's mind. And then you want to be sure that you can really hit home with why you are the right person or the right company. What is your unique differentiator? What is it that you can provide that either doesn't exist elsewhere or would be very hard to come by? How do you separate yourself from others who might have a similar kind of offering? If you can do that, you will have done a great job at targeting and addressing the needs that are going to be uppermost in your prospect's mind, and you will have a very good chance at succeeding. I'm looking forward to hearing about your successes. And if you need help, I'm here to assist. Talk to you soon.